Akram, what does Islam mean to you?
Islam means peace to me.
What does it mean to you?
Islam means love to me.
Islam means love to you. Tayyib, what does it mean to you?
Islam means brotherhood.
It means brotherhood to you. And what does it mean to you?
It means to serve God and His creation.
To serve God and His creation. So we are heading towards Ijtema site. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association UK is holding its 3-day event, which is basically largest event of its kind in the UK, where hundreds of Muslim youth will be gathering for their moral and spiritual and physical training. So Islam, unfortunately, in the media is portrayed as a religion that teaches violence, terrorism, and whatever negative you can think of. The reality is very different. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community worldwide, there is not even a single case of extremism in this community, and we are established in over 200 countries in the world, and not a single case of extremism is to be found anywhere in the world within the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. What is the reason? Why is it so? We'll find out today when we go to the Ijtema. When we reach the Ijtema site, we'll speak to different people, and we'll see the kind of activities that are happening. What is it that is keeping the youth of this community away from all the negativities, and they are actively involved in a lot of positive activities. So let's go to the site and see what's happening. So now we are almost there. The site for Ijtema. Ijtema means gathering. So gathering of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. So we are heading now to the car park area of the Ijtema site. I can already see a lot of cars are parked, so the marquee is filling up. Ahmad Ansari Sahib with me. So Man Sahib, I was just saying that by the grace of God, there is not even a single case of extremism in the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and we're established in over 200 countries around the world. It's a miracle. But unfortunately, Islam is portrayed as a religion which promotes extremism, violence, and any negative name you want to give it. That's what the media wants to portray it as. What does Islam mean to you personally?
To me, Islam is the religion that was brought by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, sent from God, and it is also the message that's behind it is actually the essence of peace. The essential bits that are related to peace are actually all that Islam embodies, and with that message of peace comes a lot of other things, including community spirit, living together with other people who are not Muslims. And Islam teaches us so many things about neighborliness, brotherliness, and how we are to deal with everyone, including our people and others. That's a very, very strong message, because it's all about equality and tolerance and what we call brotherhood across all phases, all walks of life.
And I see that you have brought your kids with you as well. How important it is to bring your kids to such an event like Ijtema?
The tarbiyat, as we call it, which is the bringing up of the children, actually starts from the time that they're born. Even from before, we start praying for them and bringing them to events where we are discussing God and discussing the things that God has given us, the pleasures and the benefits and the rewards is especially good. And this year the topic is the existence of Allah, which is the essence of this Ijtema, and it's very important that we bring children to such an event right from the tender age of toddlerhood up to as old as they get, really, because that's how you inculcate this spirit.
Indeed. And looking forward to Hazur's visit, inshallah, tomorrow.
Inshallah, yeah. That's one of the first things my son actually asked me when we came, is Hazur coming? And I said, yes, inshallah, he is.
Inshallah.
So we are very much looking forward to seeing him. And like visiting, seeing Hazur actually there's an invisible connection that you just get from Hazur's presence being there. And we're quite lucky, to be honest, in England, that we have Hazur in our midst. And there's this, just his presence, which makes us want to be better Muslims and be closer to God. That's have in our midst.
Alhamdulillah, I think the unity that we see, the purpose we see in the community, all I think is firstly, blessings of God, and then through Khilafat, this is what keeps us together. It keeps us motivated to do, as you said, to do better. So yeah, Alhamdulillah, looking forward to the day today.
Yes.
Inshallah tomorrow as well. So yeah, inshallah we'll see you around, and we'll see what's happening today.
Inshallah, yes.
Inshallah.
Very
Okay, nice
to
meeting you again. Inshallah.
Definitely.
Take care then. So what does Islam mean to you personally?
Islam personally, I would say that this is a religion very close to the nature.
Yeah.
And actually, when Islam started and what the actual, the essence of Islam is about humanity.
Humanity.
Yeah, serving the humanity and bringing justice in humanity.
Justice.
Yeah, and all the basically differences in humanity we have to finish. And as a global and universal religion, I believe that Islam is meant to improve people's life, way of life, the way people conduct, and the part between what you call the relationship between human being and God.
Yeah.
Is a part of Islam.
Right.
And otherwise, man-to-man relationship with the society, as a general, your conduct as a living person, or with other creatures, like you can call it how we should be acting against nature, like how we behaving, like when we come across the ecosystem.
So in essence,
yeah.
like the Prophet Messiah has mentioned it many times, and Hazur, in his speeches, addresses, beloved Hazur, the worldwide head and the Caliph of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, he says if you want to summarize Islam, it's basically serving God and serving His creation. So that is the essence of Islam. If you want to summarize what Islam
Exactly.
means,
very briefly,
exactly
very well
what you
said,
said, that
that's right.
serving God and serving His creation, and
Yeah.
that's so you cannot. In the words of the fourth Caliph of the Ahmadiyya, Mirza Tahir Ahmad, he said that if you love the art, you must love the artist as well. If you love the artist, you must love his art as well. So if you love God,
Yes.
how is it possible that you don't love His creation?
Absolutely.
And that is the essence of Islam, that we must inculcate in ourselves, and the new generation, inshallah, progeny as well.
Absolutely.
And we hope and pray that our kids develop those habits which are Hazur and the Promised Messiah and the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallam and God wants from us. So inshallah, jazakallah, inshallah, I'll see you around.
Just giving us a very insight of this.
No, jazakallah, you're always an
Jazakallah.
inspiration, mashallah. Keep us
Jazakallah.
in your
No,
prayers.
it's just thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah. This is my friend. If you can introduce yourself, just your name and your qiyadat.
Assalamualaikum. My name's Fahid and I'm from Norbury.
Fahid from Norbury. He was, mashallah, one of the members who went to Georgia as well with us. It was a lovely trip.
Amazing trip, one of the best trips that I've been to.
What were the highlights of that event?
Everything we did, all the activities. So we visited orphanage where we met so many children. We visited a remote village where there was hardly any medicine, full of Muslims. We visited Murabi Saab and his team. There's only 4 to 5 families in Georgia, in the whole country.
Yeah.
And we visited 50% of the Tajneeds of Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think the highlight to me personally was meeting those people and the lovely people of Georgia, Ahmadis and non-Ahmadis, and meeting a different culture completely, and meeting
Taught us so much.
Yes,
as well.
absolutely. I was coming to the Ijtema site and I was mentioning that the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, by the grace of God, does not have even a single case of extremism,
Yeah.
or any negative sort of connotation that's given to Muslims at large, usually by the media. And of course, there is some blame given to the Muslim community at large as well for
Yeah.
their sort of behavior as well. What does Islam mean to you personally?
Islam means peace to me, and all of my friends. I work for Croydon Council, and all of my friends, they know about Ahmadiyya because of just the way we act. The way you compare Ahmadi Muslims to any other Muslim, and just the etiquettes that we've been brought up with, and that's because of Khuddamul Ahmadiyya.
Brilliant. So inshallah we are here until tomorrow. Looking forward to tomorrow's address by His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Speak to you later, inshallah, and keep your prayers. Alhamdulillah, good. So, mashallah, here, reception, okay. You know, I was coming here, I was mentioning that the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, there's not even a single case of extremism or violence or anything of that sort. But unfortunately, you know, the media portrays Islam as a religion that promotes, you know, all the negative sort of things you want to name to anything.
Yeah.
But what does Islam mean to you personally?
I think it just means what Ijtema is today, right? Brothers coming together, meeting each other. You mentioned extremism. That's like an alien concept to me. Like, it's not something I'd expect here. Here it's just everyone catching up with each other, friends meeting each other, having a chance to see some of the exhibitions and activities on site. That's what it is for me.
Brilliant. Okay. What are you looking forward to the most in this Ijtema this year?
Well, for me, the highlight will be when Huzur Aqdas comes, just to have a glimpse of him and just any interaction he has with Khuddam. It's really a blessing. That's one of the biggest blessings we have in this country.
Indeed. Amazing. Jazakallah. Thank you, inshallah. Speak to you later.
Hey, mashallah. How do you call? Red. How did it? 9. First up. These are one badge.
There's Chukhtai Sab here. Faisal, where are we at the moment?
We're just outside of the entrance marquee, which is
That's
located
the entrance.
here.
Yeah.
And next to that we have the special guest in the Ijtema office.
Ijtema office. So my kid is going to the Atfal area.
Yeah.
So where do we
So
go?
Atfal area is all of this space, and this entire space is reserved exclusively for Atfal. So no Khuddam will be allowed there, and you know it gives them that comfort of being able to enjoy Ijtema without, just with people of their own age group.
Right.
So that's the plan. I think everything that side is for reserved for you.
So when I need to pick him up, what's the procedure?
You can always parents are allowed.
Okay.
But, you know, just younger Khuddam, but like, you know, they won't be allowed into the area.
I see. Okay. So I'll be going to my outreach marquee as well, which is, I can see it here, but on the map it should be that one, isn't it? Good spot. Yes, well spotted. That's the marquee. So yeah, inshallah. I was asking, you know, some of our friends here, what does Islam mean to them? What does Islam mean to you personally?
I think, you know, with many things in your life, whether it's your job or, you know, certain philosophies that you hold, they only take account into one part of your life. But Islam, more than anything, is an entire outlook. It's your way of life, you know, and in itself it means to submit to something, and our submission is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything that we do is with the consciousness that this is done for the right thing and with the right intention. And you know, with that in itself, it brings so much blessings. You can never feel disheartened if you always expect your reward only from Allah Ta'ala, and you never feel disheartened by, you know, even by the acts of other people if you always expect the reward from solely Allah Ta'ala. You never are able to do wrong against someone else because you know that you'll have to answer to Allah Ta'ala. And you know, that's what Islam means to me. Islam means to me to always have the consciousness of Allah Ta'ala in my heart and in my actions, and it affects, you know, every single thing that you do. The way that you speak, the way that you interact with people, and how your entire mindset is. And all of these things are culminated under Islam, and that's what Islam means.
Brilliant, Jazakallah. I don't have anything else to say, mashallah. Brilliant. What does Islam mean to you? What does Islam mean to you, you know, personally?
Islam means peace and brotherhood to me. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I think the root word of Islam, if we think about it, so that basically is how I see and what it means. And it's very ironic that what the image that media portrays about Islam, which is far from the reality, and here we are gathering to remind ourselves about the true teachings of Islam by listening to some of the speeches and taking part in other competitions. So that's the spiritual aspect. But then secondly, when I said brotherhood, so catching up with our friends. So if I've studied in different regions, I lived in different regions, so catching up with different friends, family members, but also making new friends. And this is, for me, the true sense of Islam.
And I think the friendships that we make here, they last forever. I've seen, some of the kids who, started working, giving duties together very early on in their age, and now they're, all grown up, still working together, and that brotherhood lasts for a long time.
Absolutely. So if we look at just Jawad Sab, right?
Yes.
So I did not know Jawad Sab from any other way but Jamaat. So we both had the opportunity to serve in an Amla, and here we are in this Ijtema, had our dinner together, just finishing off our breakfast, and now going to have a look at the,
we have very fond memories.
Very
We laugh a lot.
very
There's so
fond
many things
memories.
to talk about. There's so many things to laugh
Yeah,
about because we
yeah.
spend time.
Yeah.
The time we spend is because of Jamaat. So Jamaat brings different people together. We don't know what our background is. Here we are, where we come from. But Jamaat is uniting us in a way like we are real brothers.
Absolutely, and it's not just the, when I say brotherhood, it's not just the spiritual aspect of it, but it's also, you network as well. So if it's a career advice, or a job prospect, or a, philosophical question, you meet and you exchange ideas, and it's really, really enriching experience.
So I'm just outside the Outreach Exhibition marquee, which is the Tabligh marquee. A number of activities are happening inside. We have a couple of exhibitions happening. One is the Signs of the Hour exhibition. The second one is Science in the Holy Quran. And then there is this speech contest happening as well, which is Why I Believe in God speech contest. So if you go on Twitter, for example, hashtag Why I Believe in God, there are a number of entries that have been posted by different participants. The winners, the first, second and third, will be awarded a prize tomorrow, inshallah. That's on Sunday. So yeah, let's go in. And then yes, we have the book 10 Proofs for the Existence of God, written by Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmood Ahmad, the second caliph of the Ahmadi Muslim community. That is being given away for free as well to all the participants. Whoever comes in to our marquee, they are given that book. Since the theme of this year's Ijtema is existence of Allah, existence of God Almighty, so all the activities that are happening inside the marquee, they are related to the topic. So let's go in and see what's happening.
There's 3 books over there. There's food over there. Really, you don't need to go anywhere else. This is your Ijtema. Finish. You don't need to go anywhere else. You poor guys are going to have to listen to me for an hour or so. All right, so Luke, what would you say to that? Come forward. You're shy. So if somebody said to you, well, then you've been spoon-fed, and look, they did bad things as well, So, how are you going to accept their testimony? It was so long ago. I mean, how long was it? 1,400 years? I mean,
These are the trophies for the first, second, and third prize, inshallah. Whoever wins.
So anybody, how would you answer that? When somebody said that to you, what would you say? Come on, I can see you're itching to say something. So what would you say?
Okay. Because God always sends new messengers, and the thing is, that argument is valid. We weren't there when Muhammad ﷺ was saying those things or doing those things. We weren't there when Moses was. We can't take them back in time and show them. We can't show them a video clip of us, Moses, start doing those things. But the thing is, God sends messengers in each and every age to each and every people who testify to those previous people. So they come with signs which are beyond human capability. So it's then not a matter of discussing from a historical basis, because we are limited as human beings. So it needs to be something which is beyond. So if they come with signs or prophecies which prove to be true, that prove God's existence, and so they've got rid of the time problem, they didn't testify on behalf of those people in the past, and they themselves got exceptional knowledge. So
That's exactly right. So, can anyone tell me about a book that's been published in the recent Jalsa, which has the signs of a recent prophet of God who God has sent?
So I've got Tony with me. He's from Royal Air Force. If you can kindly introduce yourself first and your presence here. What are you doing here?
Okay, well thank you for inviting us. My name is Tony Pickett. I'm part of the recruitment selection organisation for the Royal Air Force, and we're here with our OpVR, which is operational virtual reality, to basically give people an insight into what the Air Force does now and sort of what the modern Air Force does. We are recruiters, and it's about giving people options, about career options, because it's trying to find the right role for them. And we've also got some sideline activities to highlight the personal qualities that employers look for, not necessarily us, but we do that same, whatever recruitment process individuals go through. So with the OpVR, if you look behind me, there is the registration tent for that, because there'll be the criteria we need to meet. And there's a briefing of what's expected, and so everybody's forewarned is what's going to happen. And then we moved into the VR tent, where our colleagues will then get the headsets on and get the earpieces on, and then they will go through the whole process, or the virtual reality experience. It takes about between 12 and 13 minutes. Then when that's done, they're then free to leave, or ask any questions relevant to our role.
So is this your first time here at the Ijtema, or have you been here before as well?
I think it's our first time at this sort of stance. It's my first time, and I can't get over the actual hospitality. Very friendly, and it's nice to meet everybody. It's really good, so thank you very much.
So is this your first day today, or were you here yesterday as well?
We were here yesterday, but we were in our setup phase. It takes, as you can see, the technology it takes long to actually set up. So this is our first open, we're open for business, for want of a better phrase.
Overall experience so far, you've been here?
Absolutely brilliant. People are engaging, people are friendly. We're obviously giving out the messages that we want to give, that there's a role there, not just flying, which is what everybody thinks that the Royal Air Force does. There's more to it than that. About giving advice about employability as well, not necessarily, because the RAF may not be for everybody, and that's fine. It's about employability. It's about learning about sort of all the two cultures. I'm learning a lot personally. So
if, for example, I want my kid to be in Royal Air Force today, how would you pitch it? What are the reasons he should join Royal Air Force?
Again, it's about finding your role. It's about your educational requirements. It's about having an understanding that you don't necessarily need to go to university. University is a good thing, but you don't necessarily need it. So A-levels for the Royal Air Force is quite a key sort of role. 97% of the roles available you're eligible to apply for, with 5 GCSEs, 9 to 4. You have the maths, things and science in there somewhere, and 2 A-levels, A to C, or equivalent to the UCAS points. And they can be any A-level except general studies or critical thinking. That will allow you to apply for managerial roles. A lot more responsibility, diverse, dynamic sort of roles. And they can range from the trade groups, from aircrew down to engineering, logistics, force protection, intelligence, personnel support. Engineering is a big key. Approximately 5% of the Air Force fly, 95% are on the ground. And a big chunk of that 95% work in the engineering technical world. So if anyone's looking at engineering roles, you can either come in as an engineering officer, oversee it. Now, when I said that A-levels will get you 97% of the roles, the other 3% are very our sort of our university degree levels. They're very niche. Engineering officer. So there's two streams they can go down in. Is in communication electronics, which is like computer sciences, that sort of role, or aerosystems, which is the mechanical and aeronautical engineering sort of topics. Coming in, because we're employing you for your knowledge of engineering. We'll then do a conversion to teach you how it works in platforms and things like that.
So somebody who probably goes through that phase, there are people who probably leave in the middle as well, or is there a certain percentage?
Yeah. Everybody's circumstances change initially, but everybody who enlists in the Royal Air Force will enlist for a 12-year engagement. Okay? So that's, and you look on that as 12 years job security or whatever you choose to do. However, if you feel that your life changes, then you can leave earlier than that.
All right, okay. You know, one of the things that you might have heard from others here as well, that as Muslims, you know, we believe that the Prophet of Islam, he said that loyalty to your country is part of your faith. So when, and the Caliph of the community, the head of the worldwide Ahmadi Muslim community, he has mentioned it, that loyalty means that whatever you do for your country, you do it with utmost sincerity and honesty, and that's loyalty. So regardless of your backgrounds or your religious background, your other affiliations, as long as you are honest and sincere with what you do and your country and your nation, you are on the right track. I understand this is exactly the ethos of
Absolutely. Our sort of our core values are a mnemonic that we use, which is called RISE, which stands for respect, integrity, service and excellence. Respect for yourself and others. The integrity is a key thing, and I hold that personally very dear. Integrity is very key. Service is putting the service above you, giving back to the country, and the excellence is our excellence in training, about raising the standards of being the best that you can be. And they're our core values. It sounds very simple.
Thank you very much for that, Tony. It's a pleasure speaking to you today.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. See you then. What does Islam mean to you? If I just ask you straight away, what does Islam mean to you? How would you respond?
A peaceful religion, a way of life that should be inculcated amongst everyone. And I think if you go to the core of it, all religions are peaceful, but I think if you want the epitome of a peaceful religion, it's Islam. Unfortunately, it's been misinterpreted, misconstrued with media, and that's something we have no control over, full control over, but it's something that we can then show people with the way we are, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, and once we've done that, they understand this is true Islam. And that's something that we should all try to advocate for.
And how important do you think this Ijtema is when it comes to bringing up our kids?
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? I think a nation cannot be reformed without first reforming its youth, and I think that's of paramount importance, I think, because it's not only social bonding that acts towards reformation. I think it's also the fact that we have this healthy competition as well. You know, Azan, speech, Urdu speech, everything that kind of pushes, that adds a little bit of push to the common person, because we are weak. We are humans. We are weak, so we need something on an annual basis. More than an annual basis, should be more times, and that's why we have the local, regional, and national. And I think that's what's amazing. It just kind of revives every time you come back here in a place like this for 3 days.
And I forgot to mention that you were, mashallah, part of the trip as well, with Faisal as well here. When we went to Georgia. So how was the experience for you?
Ineffable. Words have not been invented yet to describe how amazing that trip was on so many levels. Spiritually, in terms of geography, I didn't even know where Georgia was on the map, as ignorant as that sounds, and the people were so hospitable. And the fact that whatever contributions we made, however small they were, to see the big, huge impact they were having on them, emotionally, and I think we experienced it as well when we went to that Khuddamul village. It was just ineffable. I cannot use words to describe that feeling. I want to go back. I wanted to go back.
Salam was saying the same thing. He says, we need to go back. Inshallah, I think we should plan something, and it'll be amazing to go back and see how things are now. So inshallah, I'll see you around. Take care and keep me in your prayers. Inshallah. So we're just outside the exhibition marquee. A number of exhibitions are held inside. So let's go in and see what's happening. So I can see that in the auditorium within the exhibition marquee, there's a talk going on at the moment, and I can see it's Ibrahim Ikhlaf Sahib, who is the Secretary Tabligh UK, and also with him is Jonathan Butterworth Sahib, who is the Secretary for New Converse Department. So let's see what is the talk about.
UK, we still 50% of the population in the United Kingdom believes that Islam is not compatible. That means we, wherever we are, as students at universities or at our sport clubs or wherever we are, that means we are not giving the message. We 30,000, that's enough to spread the message to 60, 70,000 people. Do you know, even here it's written, I was in, that 23% only agree that they visited the mosque. That means the population in the UK, more than...
So I can see Al-Hakam stand here. Al-Hakam newspaper was launched by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, alayhi salatu wasalam, the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, promised Messiah Imam Mahdi himself, back in 1897. Let's go and talk to Rabbi Jalil Saab and know more about Al-Hakam newspaper and their stand here.
And then also the governor of
So I was just, I came here and I saw your stand here, Al-Hakam, and I understand that it was launched back in 1897 by the Prophet himself. So if you can give us more details about the newspaper itself, and I understand that Hazuri Anwar relaunched it recently. So you could let us know more about it.
Yeah, so basically, like you said, it was first launched in the Urdu language during the time of the Prophet Islam in 1897, and since then, for the first time in the English language, it was relaunched in 2018, 23rd of March 2018. So basically, in our main features of what we have in the newspaper is news from around the world. We have Hazur, exclusive interviews of Hazur's engagements during the week, and then we have two sections which is from the archives, where from the archives and from the markers. So anything that's happened during the week, we then check out, we then give to the readers something similar that's happened in the past as well in the Jamaat, just like a taste of history for the people to read. And then 100 years ago, where we go back 100 years. So right now we're in 2019, so we would go back to 1919 and go through Al-Fazl old newspapers and see what was happening in those days as well. And then other stuff we have, like news from around the world, so different Jamaat would send the news.
So if we pick one copy, and if you can show me, maybe an example of how Al-Hakam newspaper looks like.
So this is just how a paper would look like. So over here you would have the headline. So this was 15 February. This one was. So we have, like, second page, we have This Week in History, where we talk about anything that's happened from the past. So you'll see 15 February 1898, what happened then, and throughout the whole week.
So throughout the history, 15th to 21st February, whatever happened within the Jamaat's history.
Yeah, and then we have from the Markaz section, where whatever happened during that week, whatever engagements Hazur was doing. If a delegation came from a different country to meet Hazur, we write about that as well, and then give a brief report about it as well. And then going on, then sometimes we have exclusive interviews with Hazur. So over here, the Al-Hakam team interviewed Hazur, and then we give it there, have it ready for the people to read. So that's like one of the main things. And then we have other articles. So because this was a special, so we have other articles about as a Muslim and his relation with the Prophet Islam. And then we have, like, the middle page, we would have a poster kind of thing, informative poster, where we give information about what's. So these are the books that the Prophet as a Muslim wrote in service for the Muslim Ummah.
Right.
And then moving on, so you have other articles about Hazrat Muslim Maud. Because this was a Hazrat Muslim Maud Day special, that's why there's a lot of articles in regards to that. Then Friday sermon. So the one really great thing about Al-Hakam is that ever before Al-Hakam, before the English Al-Hakam, there was nowhere where the English text for the Friday sermon was not available. Now, alhamdulillah, for the first time, it's available for people to read. If people want to read it on the go, if they want to, if they're traveling to work or anything like that, they can read it as well. So it's available for them to read. And then so then goes on to paper. Then that's.
So if somebody wants to subscribe to Al-Hakam magazine, newspaper.
Yeah. So if anyone would like to subscribe, then they can email us at subscribe@alhakam.org, just send us an email and then we'll get back to them. It's £12 for the year, and so weekly newspaper.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, assalamu alaikum. So Ataul Hay Saab is here. Ataul Hay Saab, what does Islam mean to you? In one word, maybe.
Obedience.
Obedience. Farooq Saab, what does Islam mean to you? In one word.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Murabbi Jaleel Saab, what does Islam mean to you?
Islam for me is a way of life.
A way of life. And Murabbi Saleh Saab, what does Islam mean to you?
Unity and oneness, and I think the brotherhood that we see in the Ijtema is a perfect example of this.
Perfect, exactly. What does Islam mean to you?
I think it means, in one word, would mean universal. It's something everybody can relate to, no matter who you are. And I think that's what Islam is. It's a combination of all cultures, religions, but perfection of them. So I think everybody can find something that they find common ground with. And that's what's so beautiful about Islam.
And I was mentioning it to others as well, that unfortunately Islam gets a very bad sort of promotion on the media. And I've talked to different people here. The word that comes repeatedly is Islam means peace, Islam means love, Islam means brotherhood. What is it that makes Ahmadiyya Muslim community so unique that we do not have even a single case of extremism anywhere around the world? So we are established in over 200 countries, but you will not find even a single case of extremism in the community. What is it that makes Ahmadiyya Muslim community so unique?
Yeah, you mentioned the word promotion. I don't think Islam really gets promoted anywhere in the media. It's very difficult to actually get promoted. And it's a positive thing, but like you said, there's a lot of negative things in the media about Islam. And even people who might believe in a positive Islam, they might, by looking at these things, become manipulated or brainwashed into actually thinking that, hold on a minute, maybe this is what Islam teaches. And unfortunately, we do see some youth who are not Ahmadi Muslims, but other youth, who fall into this trap. And they are talking to the wrong people and learning things which are incorrect about Islam, then going on to actually harm other people as well. The reason why this doesn't happen in the Ahmadi Muslim community, by the grace of God, is because of a system that was established by Hazrat Muslim, or the second caliph actually, of the Ahmadi Muslim community. A system which ensured that our youth were always in the right line. And that is something which we're celebrating today. That is Khuddamul Ahmadiyya, which is an organization, a youth auxiliary organization in the UK and all around the world, which is there for the well-being and the moral and spiritual upbringing of all the Muslims around, Ahmadi Muslims around the world. It's literally a system which ensures a micromanagement of the youth. So every youth will know that they have someone they can talk to. And the youth will know that there will be people who will come to speak to them about their welfare. And they will be able to meet their own brothers on a weekly, monthly basis to speak about the issues they're going through. And this is a setup which has been around now for almost a century. And something which we take care of. And even today we have the national event of the Khuddamul Ahmadiyya institution, where a lot of the youth from around the world have come together to talk about issues, moral issues, social issues, mental health. So this is how we ensure that our youth are always in touch with the right and true teachings of Islam.
And we've got Itfalul Ahmadiyya and Khuddamul Ahmadiyya. Itfalul Ahmadiyya have got their own space, they're doing their own activities. What are the kind of activities that are happening in the Itfal area, for example? And what is it that keep them busy in positive activities? So what kind of activities would you say are important and happening?
So
here?
I remember when I was a kid, Atfal Ahmadiyya is for the youngsters under the age of 15. And as a kid, you like to take part in competitions, you like to have a bit of fun, and that's what we did. So at that time, we didn't know the bigger purpose, I guess. We were preparing for speeches about topics, about Islam, about allegations, about different issues. At that time, we were probably preparing those speeches just to compete. But in the long run, what that actually taught us is that we actually learned and understood the things we were talking about. Maybe the speeches were prepared by our parents, but now we look back at them and we think, okay, this is what we were talking about. And we actually begin to discuss that. We hear things from the imams and the teachers that come to teach us things as well. And not only that, we get to learn skills which we might not learn actually in other places, where we are talking, we're having sports together, we're building team exercises, and it's small things like this which actually you might, as a youth take for granted in the Ahmadiyya community. But when you go to other places, you realize the amount of skills you've gained, how to integrate, how to communicate with other people, how to have a sense of brotherhood. And I think that these are really important values which might be missing nowadays in the world, but you're reminded often in Itfal al-Ahmadiyya.
And I think above all, we are very fortunate to have the system of Khilafat. And I'm sure, what is it that is the highlight of the Ijtema? If you can.
So we are very lucky here in the UK, and we're very, very lucky, I'm saying, that we are the Ijtema that has the honor to have the presence of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, who's the worldwide caliph of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and we hope, inshallah, God willing, will come even tomorrow as well to address the youth on issues. Now, I don't think there's any leader in the world that actually takes so much care of the youth at hand right now, who actually not only comes to their events, not events for anybody else, it's just events for the youth, and he comes to them to address issues about them. And not only does he address issues about them, when the event's over, then we know that those youth have a direct contact with the caliph. They can write letters to him. He writes back to those youth. He lets the youth come up to him and meet him face to face. So, and they talk about their issues, whether they're financial, whether they're spiritual, whether they're moral issues, and he deals with them. And I think there's no leader out there who does this for such a wide amount of youth out there. So that's why I think this is amazing. We're very unique and lucky and blessed to have that.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah, Kamar Sahib. Inshallah, I'll speak to you later and keep us in your prayers. And we pray that this Ijtema once again is a great success. So, Inamullah Khan Sahib, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. I've been asking this question from everybody here. Let's see what your answer is. So what does Islam mean to you? Probably in one word, one sentence. How do you summarize the whole essence of what Islam is?
To me, quite simply, Islam means being at peace with oneself, being at peace with one's creator and the normal human beings and God's creation. So in essence, to me, Islam means peace.
And how important do you think, an event like this Ijtema, how important it is for the spiritual bringing up of our kids, and also I think physical as well, because you've got sports competitions happening here as well and other activities.
Yeah.
How important is this event?
I think it's hugely important, to be honest. Although I'm no longer a khadim, but just coming here, I found that I've learnt a lot, elements of my faith that have been refreshed. Based on what I've seen, what I've heard, people that I haven't met for a long, long time. So I think there's obviously a link between the soul and your physical body. So being physically active, they say healthy body equals healthy mind. So the two are definitely linked.
I'm just outside this marquee, which is called the Hub. A lot of activities are happening here inside. Let's speak to somebody here. And see what exactly is this hub and what are the kind of activities happening inside the marquee. Okay, so I think I can see Murabbi Usama Sahib. He's here. I'll ask him about the hub. Assalamu alaikum, Murabbi Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Alhamdulillah.
Ijtema Mubarak, first of all.
Khair Mubarak.
So yeah, I was just touring the site,
right.
and then we came to this hub.
Yeah.
So what is this hub, and what are the kind of activities happening here?
The hub is run by the Tarbiyat department. It's all about, gathering Khuddam of different walks of life, different ages, and bringing them together under, we say the fold of Islam, and physically in this one marquee. And we have so many different exhibitions going on. On your left, as you entered, you saw the writing to Hazrat Khuddamul corner, right? So it's a letters corner where we try to, encourage different Khuddams who are maybe not so accustomed to writing letters to learn how to structure a letter to them.
So we have some Khuddam here who are writing letters right now.
Exactly. So over here, we can see right here, we have students who, come from all over the country, right? And some of them may be very keen on, wanting to, build a connection with Khalifatul Masih. And we try and teach them how to actually write that letter.
If I can see a letter here, is a template?
That's a template, yeah.
Okay, so if you can probably give us...
This is a basic template. So what we've basically done is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Mahmood and then after that what we do is just whatever you want to write, Bilal Huzur, Pyare Huzur, and then Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Whatever you want to write, try and keep it brief, and then Assalam. Well, of course, little things you can change and make it your own personal letter as well. It's not like you have to follow the template word for word, it's just an idea. Apart from that, what we're actually doing is we're taking down emails as well for people that don't want to write a letter here, or they're busy or on duty. So then these emails, we're basically going to email to them in English and an Urdu template, and they can use that as an idea, as a guidance. Because I remember myself as well, when you write the first letter, you're always thinking, how should I write it? So it's good to, I remember, funny thing is, he's the one that actually gave me my template.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. today, alhamdulillah, we're helping other people. So,
I remember listening to beloved Huzur once, and he said that when you write letters, keep it brief.
Exactly, that's exactly what we've got here. And this was in the Canada class 2016.
It's quite loud here. I know that so many activities happening. Maybe you can be a bit louder as well, so that.
So this is from the Canada class 2016, where Huzur specifically mentioned that try and keep your letters short. 2 to 4 lines. Get the main message across, because if you write a long letter, then what will happen is one of the members of the team will have to then give a summary to Huzur, and that summary or khulasa might not present the same point or stress the same point that you want to stress. So just to make sure you get the right message, because if you write a 2-page letter, you might not, what goes to Huzur might not be what you're trying to get across, so it's better to just try and keep your letter short and to the point.
So keep it brief, but keep it regular.
Keep it regular, that's the main point, yeah.
Right,
exactly.
Okay. And why is it important to write letters to Huzur?
That's how you build a connection with, Khilafat, like the best living person on earth, to have a connection with him, to have his prayers. I mean, for example, if I was to ask, Osama to do something for me, and he was his best friend. Of course, if he didn't know me and I asked him to do something, or if he knew me but he was his best friend, of course he's more likely to listen to his best friend as well.
Right.
And it's just the spiritual guidance you get, because at the end of the day, you want to build a connection with God. And this is one of the avenues that you can explore. It's one of the best avenues. But we need Khilafat, otherwise, we can get to be guided, otherwise we misguided.
In one word, what would Islam mean to you? What does Islam mean to you? In one word? No, maybe in one sentence.
It brings you a way to live life, basically. It teaches you how to live life, a connection with God.
Perfect. Jazakallah. I didn't catch your name.
Usman Ali Anju.
And your Murabbi Sahib as well?
I'm in my 5th year.
5th year, mashallah. So trainee imam, mashallah, both of you. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So, Sama Sahib, if you can give me...
As you figured and definitely made out that there's a lot of noise coming from the back over here. Right? So here we have a foosball table, right? Behind that, we have this has attracted a lot of Khuddam.
Yeah, let's see.
Do you want to head over here?
Yeah.
So over here we have
you can stay close here.
We have the punching machine challenge, right?
Yeah.
So the way this works is Khuddam come, very simple, clear cut. They take turns one by one, and we're trying to figure out who's the alpha male here.
Okay, so let's see. So, I don't know about numbers, so you tell me, is it good or bad? The one that...
Let's not comment about that. That was an over.
All right, so who's the strongest man here then?
I think it disappeared, but someone hit 997.
Wow.
So I'm assuming that's very, very impressive. No one's really come close to that.
Okay, so I think he's going to give it another try.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can beat the other one. Last one. Much better than last one.
That's pretty good.
Oh, excellent. All right. Let's move.
Do you want to move on to the next exhibition? So different exhibitions have different timings, right? Over here, this is a massive part of the hub, is the lounge cafe. Okay. Right now we've shut.
Okay.
But this
what's the reason why you shut?
Well, because we run out of space.
Fair enough.
But one of the amazing things about this is that you see these barriers over here, these fences.
Yeah.
People will be lining along these fences all the way until the end of these tables, right? So there's a lot of rush. There's a lot of people trying to get their shakes, their Krispy Kreme donuts, the customized shakes actually, and we also have another addition, Jazzy the baker. He's working in the back. So right now they've gone on their little break.
Okay.
But usually this is very, very busy.
Okay.
So they're having a little break right now, which has kind of led to other people, going across different kind of platforms and experiencing different things which they haven't before.
Yeah.
So on the right over there, it's quite interesting.
Okay.
And this is caught a lot of attention as well. We have the PlayStation VR, virtual reality.
PlayStation VR, okay.
So the way this works, you have a PS4, you have a system, a headset that you put on your head, and it takes you through a virtual reality experience. So it's all 3D, it's all surround, and you get to, really experience what it's like to, if he was to look up and down, he will see everything from his own eyes, which is different to us.
That begs the question, how healthy is it?
How healthy is it? They do warn you in the say if you play for too long, you might get dizzy, you might get drowsy. So So
what is the safe sort of time limit? If
for myself, 10 minutes max.
10 minutes max. Yeah.
But it's a great experience. So there you go. 2 minutes. There you go.
2 minutes. Okay, there you go then. Okay, perfect. Let's move to the next one.
So over here on the right. Now, if you were here, say half an hour ago, this was the go-to place.
All right.
Because we had a massive talk on one of the Review of Religion members, and he delivered a talk on drugs and relationships. Right?
Very contemporary.
Very contemporary, right? And it appealed to a lot of people because it's something that we don't often talk about. Some people, regard it to be taboo as well. And we had a talk by Tariq Saab, which then led to a Q&A session, a panel, and all these sofas were occupied by listeners. We had chairs all over the marquee, and it was very, invigorating talk. It was very nice and very well enjoyed by all the people.
Brilliant.
So right now, again, they're on a break, but this is the spotlight right now. So as I said before, you come at different times throughout the day, and you will see crowds gather around different places. Right now, this is the allegations call. As you can see, it's kind of difficult to get through to the core of where the conversation is, right? But loads of people are surrounded by certain people. There is no main person leading the conversation. That's the beautiful thing. So it's all interactive. Anyone who wants to say something, who has any input whatsoever to the discussion, can feel free to put a hand up and join in. So it's as open as that. It's very open, and they talk about, again, contemporary issues and matters. They talk about issues regarding, the society of this day and age. And
very informal, I can see, the way
it is very informal. Yeah, everyone's very chilled out, and it's a nice atmosphere. And the discussions are pretty deep as well. So everyone's sort of elaborating different opinions and viewpoints and things. And again,
the question really is, how do you change your aspiration from materialism to something else? That's the problem. Materialism is the issue.
You know what it is, yeah? I get what you said's correct, but for you, it's not as simple as, do you get it? There's a lot of factors, and it's back to what I was saying earlier with the role model thing. You're gonna, as kids, you're gonna aspire, media, you know how we were saying with media, yeah? The media is a key thing in everything. What we think is nice crime.
Let's move to the next one.
The whole thing about Nigeria is such a big deal. It's been a big deal, but now they're just pushing in our faces.
over here. You see that ball over there?
Yeah.
That's the average height of the ball that we're now.
Oh, really?
You know what it is, yeah?
The average height. That might be higher. But this is how they come here. And they have gone on this quest to try and head at that ball, so we have a little track here set up.
Yeah.
And they've tried running across and jumping to reach that ball. Very few people have made it.
Can we ask somebody to do that?
If anyone is willing to do so.
Yeah, let's Just give it a go.
So we move on to the hub fit. Over here. You can see the brother trying to
they are older because you know what it is.
the hanging challenge.
They're the fact that they've got more money than you. That's the only reason.
So the aim is to hang for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Those people who do achieve that, they get free hub shake. So it's quite appealing to many people. The free hub shake is always something that you can't really turn down.
Right. So how many milkshakes have you given away so far?
Not too many, to be honest. Not too many. But what's your right now? What's the time?
A minute 15, a minute 17.
You know what it is?
Minute 20.
Everyone's hypocrite. I don't know.
It seems to be
I'm a big hypocrite.
You can make it.
It's more mind games, it's willpower and everything.
It's all in your head.
Again, like I mentioned before, earlier on we had a massive showdown.
How would you?
Where we had 4 members from the hub, which we called the Hub Dream Team, battling and competing against 4 random Khuddam. They could have been friends, they could have been people of the same class, etc. But the whole aim, once again, is to unite people and get one person to meet another person and see new faces, meet and greet new people, and make long-lasting friendships and relationships. So in the same way what we had early on here, we had a massive crowd gathered around here, Khuddam competing in different showdowns, and it led to a lot of laughter, it led to a lot of joy, a lot of celebration, and people thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think he's struggling now.
Keep hanging.
Look at the time. Come on, bro, you got this. Hang on. So how many seconds?
2:24.
2:24. So he's got a milkshake there.
He's gone on to the high scoring.
Oh, brilliant. MashaAllah.
You know, the longest we've had so far was a man yesterday. He came and did 2 minutes 58.
2 minutes 58. Wow.
Yes, so he nearly hit 3 minutes.
Wow, so he should have got two milkshakes, I think.
Debatable.
Debatable. Okay. All right, Jazakallah. Inshallah, I'll see you around. And Jazakallah for giving us a tour.
No worries.
It was brilliant. Okay.
Appreciate it.
So brother Jahangir Sahib here as well, Maulana Jahangir Sahib here, and then other brothers here. When I was coming to Ijtema today, I was mentioning that there is not even a single case of extremism in the Ahmadiyya Muslim community.
Yes.
Why is it so?
We do have extremism, we're extremely tolerant. But why it is that we have a caliph who guides us at all times, and he keeps us on the middle path, because Islam is all about being on the middle path. If you don't have a guide, then you can easily slide one way or the other, and this is what we've seen among many Muslims and other religious groups. So they do tend to slide into extremism, unfortunately. But our caliph always drags us back and keeps us, on the straight and narrow, which runs through the middle. So I think this is the blessing we have, which we're the only ones to have.
And what does Islam mean to you? If you want to summarize it in probably a couple of sentences or something like that, how would you describe Islam to you?
The best way to get to the Creator. That's what I'd sum it up.
And I think that sums it up. Farhan Sahib, what do you think? What does Islam mean to you?
I think Jahangir Sahib has mentioned everything, which could be mentioned. I was going to say a complete way of life. That's Islam to me, personally.
And Saqib Sahib?
I would say you can experience God like a living God, like nobody else, and He answers your prayers more than for any other channel.
The living relationship, that's what it is. Nosha Sahib?
It's definitely the best way that Allah Ta'ala has prescribed for humans to live. I think Islam encompasses all of Allah Ta'ala's teachings throughout all of the messengers He sent. And I think he's summed it up in sort of just one way of life.
Jahangir Sahib, we heard your talk as well, mashallah, it was brilliant, and the attention that mashallah we could see, it captured the attention of everybody.
Pin drop silence.
I hope you come tomorrow again so we can have a chance to learn from you. And
well, I will be coming. I'm not sure if I'll be coming back to the review of religions, but we'll see anyway how it pans out. Right. Inshallah.
Right. And may Allah bless you with health as well.
Inshallah. Jazakallah. Thank you very much indeed.
So an action-packed second day of Ijtema UK 2019 comes to an end today. It's been a fascinating day, a lot of activities, a lot of events, a lot of exhibitions, and inshallah we look forward to the highlight of the whole event tomorrow, inshallah, when beloved Hazur, the worldwide head and the Caliph of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, he graces the occasion with his presence, inshallah. So see you tomorrow, inshallah.